A menu of school safety options, that's the goal of a bill that passed last week in Olympia. What this means is that schools will be incentivized to install things like panic buttons and live video feeds to communicate with law enforcement in case of emergencies. I spoke with Senator Nikki-Torres, who's the main sponsor of the school safety bill this afternoon. Take a listen. Senator Nikki-Torres, thank you so much for joining us. I know I spoke with you when you first introduced this measure. Now it has passed the legislature. So for the viewers at home, what does this really mean? What's the most impactful thing you think will come out of this school safety measure?
Well, thank you for having me again and for following along on this, the trajectory of this bill. I'm really excited to see that it has passed both chambers and now it's awaiting to land on the governor's desk for his final signature to make it into law, officially into law. And what I believe that this sends a message is that we care about our students and we care about our teachers and we care about their safety. So when we drop off our kids at school, we know that they're going to be safe and that there are other options versus just a fence that can be used to keep our students safe and locking doors. There's another option. There are a couple of options that school districts can look at to keep our students safe while they're there all day.
Let's get into those details a little bit. Panic buttons or emergency buttons, those are some of the things that are specific in your measure. So why do you think that would help in an emergency situation?
They're one of the best ways to react and to set the alarm, and where law enforcement can be contacted right away. And so what we've seen over the years is that some buildings have some form or type of panic button that's installed on the walls, but there's other options of panic buttons. So I wanted to make sure to include that so that the school districts had a slate of a menu of options to choose from. And one of them can be like on your badge, like on your school badge, because every student has to have a badge nowadays, and teachers as well, and staff. And so there's that option where they can have a panic button or alert button that's placed on that badge as well. So if there's an emergency, we had one situation too, I believe it was at Yakima School District, where one of the teachers had a medical emergency and someone was able to press the panic button on the badge.
And of course, this is not just about, say, school shootings. This is also medical emergencies that you just brought up. And how does the panic button look like? You're saying that some school districts could opt for badges or maybe a central place. Will you give these districts kind of some leeway on how that would look like?
Yeah, so well, the school districts will have a menu of options, and OSPI, you know, every year they have to report to OSPI their emergency management plans, and so this would just be included with that, where they would say this is what we have in place. Because what we found was that we contacted the 295 school districts, and we found that some are using some type of panic alert button, less than 50% are, and some have just locking doors and a fence around the perimeter. But this will open it up for them to choose, like, hey, you know what, let me look into panic buttons. Do we want one that goes on the wall, or do we want one that goes on the person that they're carrying around on their badge, to make it easier for law enforcement to connect with or to locate where the incident is happening.
Right. And another thing about this is, speaking of law enforcement, you want a live video or audio feed where law enforcement officers can see what's going on in real time during an emergency, correct?
I would like that. That is part of the wish list, but I'm not going to mandate the school districts on that. I've left that up to them. A lot of them have a very good working relationship with their law enforcement, with their local law enforcement already. So I will let them, again, it's a menu of options. It's a choice. It's not a mandate.
OSPI will be tasked with gathering data on all 295 school districts and work with them to add extra security at schools. Senator Torres is anticipating that $12 million will be carved out of the capital budget to get things like those panic buttons and live feeds installed, but school districts will have to apply for that money.